Okay, so that's how this video is gonna begin. And take 2 of me trying not to be awkward. Okay, this is so weird. How do people just record themselves all the time? I need to restart. Take 3. God damn it. So I was trying to make like a really good video for this, like why I got kicked to the military, and I'm trash at it. I like setting it up and like being all awkward like myself. So I'm just gonna hold it and talk as I go. Oh my god, this feels so much better. So I enlisted in the Air Force like a year ago, and I regret that. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's cool. So basically why I got kicked out of the military, like what it came down to, like the gist of it, is that I'm too small. Trust me, I tried to argue discrimination, it didn't work. They told me I was a skeletal health risk. That's what I was. I was 93 pounds when I went into basic, and then when they put me in med hold, I'll get to what med hold is in a minute, I was 80 pounds. So they were like, holy shit, you're very small, and wanted to send me home. And I wish I wouldn't have done that accent. Oh, I regret everything I do. Anyways, keep going. So they were trying to figure out why I was losing weight in such an accelerated rate, because I was still eating. I mean, the food was fucking bleh, trash, but I was still like functioning fine. Like I wasn't stressed. I felt fine. The military is not like you just sit down and you shut the fuck up and don't volunteer for a goddamn thing. So I was doing fine. I was solid, but my staff sergeant took a look at me and she was like, you look terrible. Like my eyes were sunken in, my bones were all, ignore my nails, God, I suck. And she was like, you look really sick. So she put me to UCC, which is Urgent Care Center. And then I went to Wilford Hall, which is basically like a big ass hospital. And they had me do MRIs, ultrasounds. I had, like, my arms were so bruised from all the needles they had to put in me. It was not a good time. The nurses came to me and they were like, holy shit, like, that is a lot of, like, you look like, damn, like I was doing heroin or something. But I wasn't. Okay. So then they had me shit in like 7 bags. I just go so easy into that. They had me shit in like 7 individual bags. So they needed to like test everything. I had to like breathe into like 3 bags. I had to drink like such nasty stuff like multiple times. It fucking sucked. But what it came down to is I have GI disease, which is gastrointestinal disease, dyspepsia, and acid reflux, and that's just related towards my tummy. It wasn't that good of a time. For at least that time period, it really sucked, especially being like alone while you're finding out all this information about you, and you can't call home, you can't do anything, like you're just getting told all this stuff is happening to you, you're getting told you might get sent home, and it's fucking sucks. So whilst I'm getting told all of this information, I'm still in basic training. So they whipped my ass out of there, and they put me in med hold. Boy. So when you first get to basic training, everyone is like, don't go to med hold. Like, they are on tip about med hold. Like, okay. So I'm nervous. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go to this depressing ass place. I'm gonna be around all these depressed ass people. And let me tell you, med hold is like, it has its ups and downs. It has its pros and cons. But I think one thing that the military is fake for is telling you that they're going to put you in jail if you try to leave, because that's half true and half not true, at least within the first few months of you in the military, depending on what branch you're in. So I'm going to say what med hold is and how you can get out of the military and not go to jail. Okay, so the thing with med hold is they tell you that you're going to be in there for like a long ass time, like longer than basic, and sometimes that is true, but it also depends on how injured you are. If you go in and in the first 3 weeks of you in the military you're like, fuck this, like even maybe this the first week you're like, I don't want to be here, this is not for me, I don't like it, and you think you're going to go to jail, you aren't. Just say, I don't like this is not for me. And I don't care that you're a sergeant. Like, there's just people that were like that. They're like, I just don't want to be here. I don't like it. Or you have anxiety. You're not going to go to jail. It's called ELS, Early Enlistment Separation. So what ELS is basically, it's not on your record. Not on your record you were ever in the military. It's not on your record that like anything ever happened to you. You don't get any benefits. You don't get nothing from the military. You don't get squat, but you get sent home and it doesn't count anything against you. That's what ELS is. So within your first few weeks or within your first few months of you being in the military, you can do this and you will not go to jail. Don't try to just run off the base like a fucking buffoon and like hope that they just send you home, because for that you will get in trouble. But you know, that's basically the gist of it. Like, you don't get in trouble, nothing happens to you. Like with me, I was medical, so it was a little bit of a different process for me, but I was with people who just straight up didn't want to be there. Or I was with people who were trying to RTT, return to training, and they had like a broken foot or like a broken arm, and oh my god, and by the way, my dumbass, I sprained my wrist while I was in med hold, which pushed off me coming. And I felt so stupid when I did it. I mean, it's fine, I fell off the bunk bed, let's not talk about it. Anyways, but I did meet some really great people in med hold, and you do meet some really terrible people in med hold. We had one girl come in, and she was in med hold, and in her diagnosis, she even told us that her stuff was for being homicidal, why she was getting sent home. Yeah, you're sleeping in the other fucking bunker, bitch. But I did meet some really great people. I met a girl, Boyd, and she stuck a highlighter up her vagina, you know, to masturbate. And then I met Barnes, and she snuck a phone into the barracks. And yeah, she got caught, and it really sucked. Like, all of our shit got flipped upside down. They went through all of our pockets, and I had a hella Kit Kat wrappers in my goddamn Tide, like, you had like a bag with like your Tide Pods in it, and I had all of my wrappers in that bitch. And when I got caught, I told the sergeant, I said I had. So when I got caught with all the Kit Kat wrappers in my little Tide Pod bag, I was a little pussy, I'm not gonna lie. I told her that I didn't have any Kit Kats. I was like, ma'am, training instructor report disordered. I like to smell the wrappers, ma'am. And when I tell you, my fucking fellow trainees next to me were just like, this bitch. And then Nep, she was another girl that I met. She's like my med hold military best friend, Nep. When she heard me, I'm pretty sure she told her sergeant that caught her with wrapper, because we were two in the same. We were both sneaking candy in that bitch like crazy. But when she overheard that, she told her sergeant that she liked to smell them too. And yeah, we got in trouble. I think it was called a E41, I don't know, something like that. You just get this thing pulled out and you get a citation. It's basically like what it is. You get like a little slap on the wrist. And I was leaving her anyway, so I didn't give a. So basically what it all came down to was I was too small to serve in the Air Force. You'd think I could just gain weight. I was 93 pounds, dropped to 80 pounds, and then they gave me medicine to make me gain weight because they couldn't send me home until they felt comfortable with me, basically. I was in line for Warhawk for top physicality of my flight. I firmly believe that I would have got that. I was helping a lot of the girls in my flight at the time get ready for their first fitness test, and it really sucked because also when I was in, they took away PT training from me. I think that was one of the first heart-sinking moments when I was in, was being told I couldn't do PT, physical training, because they wanted me to gain weight, and that was just in basic. That was before I even got to med hold. And if you know me, if you've like followed my social media and just know me as a person, you know working out is like something that's got to be in my life. It's a way I relieve stress. It's just something that I love to do. And being told I couldn't do PT training definitely took a toll on me mentally. I did not like that because that was something that I needed. And when all of these trainees, all 40 fucking girls, are working out and you just have to sit there, that shit sucked. I got put on a dead man's waiver, which is basically you can't do a goddamn thing. You just sit there, you can't march, you can't train, you can't do anything on a dead man's waiver. That's why it's called a dead man's waiver. And that's what I had. And leaving the military, I'd say it had its ups and downs. I have mixed emotions about it, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'm home, and it was a good experience.